Well, the wait is finally over. It's Election Day, and voters will cast ballots across the country to pick the next president.
I'm live from St. Mel Church in Cleveland this morning, where in less than a half hour, voters are going to be able to cast their ballots here and all across the country. Now, if you're coming out to vote soon, a couple of things to keep in mind. Make sure to bring a valid ID. Also check your polling location. More than 24,000 voters here in Cuyahoga County have had their polling location changed. According to the Secretary of State's office, more than 2.5 million Ohioans voted early for who the next president is going to be, either former President Donald Trump or current Vice President Kamala Harris. Breaking down the easiest path for each candidate to win is our political director, Joe St. George. He joins us live from Atlanta this morning. Joe, if you could, sir, break down the numbers for us.
Yeah, here we go, right? Hard to believe today is Election Day. Ohioans celebrate Election Day. Americans celebrate Election Day, technically each and every year, but presidential election years hit different, don't they? I'm here just outside Atlanta, where polls will be opening here in 57 minutes from now, 7 a.m. Eastern time. They'll close at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Perhaps the first swing state that ultimately gets called tonight, simply because new state laws require early voting to be posted by 8 o'clock. As far as your question, Mike, the easiest path to victory. Let's start with former President Donald Trump. If he wins where I'm at this morning, Georgia, and he wins North Carolina, and he wins the coveted prize of Pennsylvania, that should be enough, as long as all the non-swing states do what they are supposed to do tonight for the former president. It's a very simple way to watch election night returns, because you'll know what Georgia and North Carolina are doing earlier tonight. You'll know if that path is viable. As far as Vice President Kamala Harris, what would make her president-elect of the United States? Perhaps by this time tomorrow morning. I think her simplest, easiest path to watch for results tonight. Yes, she could win Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania too, and get there. It's a coin flip in those states after all. But it's the blue wall states of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Those three states have all voted the same way, get this, since 1992. So there's reason to think that when you're seeing early returns from Michigan, that it may be replicated in places like Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. Of course, those are the simplest, easiest paths. Mike, what do we know about 2024? This has not been a simple or easy election by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, Joe, it is not. And it is safe to say that there's a large portion of Americans who are feeling some anxiety over this election. So what are some of the uncertainties that people are feeling right now?
Well, let's just start with the fact that both sides have been so passionate and, dare I say, confident on social media, in their social circles with the result. And I hate to state the obvious, but there can only be one winner. So there's going to be millions and millions of people heartbroken by these results whenever we get them finalized, whether it's this time tomorrow or perhaps this time next week. Other election question marks, I think, is a fair way to put it, is one, does in-person voting match the energy levels and numbers that we've seen with early voting this cycle? 10 states are voting on abortion measures this year as well. How does that shape the electorate? And election officials from coast to coast have been warning of disinformation, election interference campaigns by foreign countries. Is any wide-scale effort attempted to be implemented here on Election Day? These are all the things going through the minds of not just Americans, but election officials as well. One thing we can stress, election officials, again, from coast to coast across Ohio, they make clear our elections are safe and secure.
All right, Joe, again, this is your Super Bowl. The day is finally here. We know you're going to be on top of it for us all throughout the day and in the days that follow, because, like you said, there could be some uncertainty moving forward. All right, Joe, thanks. Now, one of the biggest races here in Ohio and one of the most watched in the country is going to be the race for U.S. Senate. Incumbent Democrat Sherrod Brown is being challenged by Republican Bernie Moreno. Our partners at Decision Desk HQ have ranked the matchup as the nation's only true toss-up Senate race. Senator Brown, seeking a fourth term, saying that he wants to use his experience to get more done. Moreno argues it's time for a change.
I've won elections in this state because I fought for workers and fought for a stronger middle class. And elections are about contrast.
He's incapable of explaining to the people of Ohio why he's voted like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, because those people would not win a race in Ohio, yet he is exactly them when he goes to Washington, D.C.
The Senate race is also now the most expensive in history, with more than $440 million spent between both candidates. Whoever wins over Ohio voters will be elected to a 6-year term. The Department of Justice is going to be monitoring the polls here in Cuyahoga County and Portage County to ensure federal voting laws are being followed. Let's bring in News 5's Mike Holden. He joins us live from Portage County now with why they will be on hand and how they are working to make sure that our votes are counted. Good morning, Mike.
Mike, good morning to you. Truly democracy in action. And I got to tell you, we've noticed a big difference from 4:30 this morning until about 6:07 right now. We went from being the only car in the parking lot to basically 50 cars pulling up, taking over this location. We're live in front of NeoMed. That is one of the local medical universities in town right here in Rootstown, where it is truly Grand Central Station. And election officials are already anticipating record-breaking numbers. We're talking an expectation of 75% voter turnout, which would beat out the 2020 election. Early voting numbers well over 18,000 in comparison to 2020's 15,000. Let's walk you through why the Justice Department is here in town. So here's the information you really need to take away. They announced the plan back in mid-October to monitor compliance with federal voting rights laws here in Portage County. They have been on hand during early voting, and you can certainly expect them again today. Officials say voters expressed concerns about intimidation and, quote, resulting from surveillance and collection of personal information, as well as threats about the electoral process. Voters and election officials say there have not been any major noticeable changes here. However, it is important to note the Board of Elections in Portage County voted to remove the Portage County Sheriff's Office from early voting security, and the Ravenna Police Department has been asked to oversee and provide security throughout the election. This all follows current Portage County Sheriff Bruce Zukowski's controversial comments on Facebook back in September. In a since deleted post, he told residents to write down the addresses of the people who display Kamala Harris signs in their front yards and to then send immigrants to live at their homes if she wins. His challenger, Democrat John Barber, called his actions appalling. In the meantime, Zukowski argued he has First Amendment rights. Election officials say regardless, they promise a fair process and they're encouraging you to come out.
Portage County has worked very hard, not only this election, but all elections leading up to this election, to ensure that voters have the opportunity to vote in a free and honest manner and in a way to which they should not ever feel intimidated. And we are doing everything within our power to make voters feel welcome and to feel secure in casting their ballots here at the Board of Elections.
And back out here live in Portage County, I've been talking with a number of those voters. They say they're arriving early intentionally, expecting long wait times, but also because they have to get to work. We're going to monitor each and every development. After this live report, I'm heading inside, talking with those voters. We'll see you again coming up in about 30 minutes.
All right, Mike, yeah, here at St. Mel's in Cleveland's West Park neighborhood, we are starting to see voters show up already, wanting to get in as soon as the polls open at 6:30. Thanks, Mike. All right, so we're going to bring you complete election coverage right here on News 5 and our app. You can check everything that you need to know before you head to the polls. In our election guide, you can learn more about the candidates and the issues, as well as the judges that you will be voting on.